Hi everyone, it's Linsky here. I just wanted to come to you and introduce you to emotional freedom technique, what sort of things it can be used for, and just really introduce you to the tapping points. So the emotional freedom technique, it is often referred to as EFT for short, or also it is known as tapping. Uses different points on the hand, face and body to calm down, I guess, the fight and flight that we often go into. We're using it to access memories or events that have happened and to try and take away a lot of that negative charge around some of the emotions and reactions we may still be feeling to those events. So EFT is really good for dealing with things, first and foremost, of course, trauma, grief, like mental health issues that we're dealing with. It can be really good for motivational tools, really good for helping with sleep, really good for stress management, really good for performance anxiety. If we've got goals that we're setting and we're not meeting them, we can start looking at some of the things behind that. So EFT is a really good tool to be able to use to address a lot of those issues. So EFT is pretty much a self-help tool. So as a practitioner, I'm interested in introducing it to clients, to you, to anyone that will listen, basically, to try and get you started on the path of looking at some of the things that may be blocking you, some of the things that you still have got quite a huge connection to. But then, because it is such a simple tool, you feeling empowered to be able to take this away and work yourself through some of the things that are coming up for you on a daily basis. So it's an awesome tool that you could be using for the rest of your life, basically, once you've been introduced to this, to help you to continue to work through things, but also to empower you to get rid of some of the blocks that are stopping you from meeting all of those goals or living all of those dreams that you've had for so long. So just to let you know the tapping points, we start off with the side of the hand. So we would identify an issue that we had that we wanted to deal with, and let's just do one that generally most of us have probably experienced a little bit of at some stage in our life. So one really being anxiety is a huge one. So if we sat there and said, even though I'm experiencing this anxiety right now, I'm willing to love and accept myself, is the statement that we would be saying. So if you said that out loud and thought about how bad that anxiety felt to you in that moment, we want to give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 would be, hey, that's not even really affecting me right now. 10 being, that's affecting me a lot. And sort of the middle of the range. So for the purposes of this, we'll go for about a 5. With the anxiety, and I'll show you the points as we go through. So we start on the side of the hand with that statement. So there's a whole lot of, so I just use my whole hand just so then I can just hit all of the points through there. The next one that we would go to, we call it the top of the head. So if you kind of go where your ears are and then the middle of your head comes through, those 2 points intersect, that's where you want to be tapping. Lots of people use just 2 fingers. I just use all of my fingers in that area, so then it's a lot more fail safe. And again, because I am wanting you to learn how to do it and for it to be easy for you so you can take it away, let's not get too technical with it. The main point is that we're actually putting it into practice. So that would be, we've got the hand point, the top of the head point, and now we want to go to the point which is our eyebrow point. Now it is on the bone of the eyebrow. You can do either side if you like, or what you can do is what I do, which is just tapping in that area. So I'm actually hitting both sides at the same time. So that is the 3rd point. Once we've been to the eyebrow point, we'll go to the side of the eye point. So I just follow the bone around until I get to the point here, and that's where I want to be tapping. Again, you're seeing me just use a couple of fingers. It's on the bone, so that's the side of the eye point. Once we've identified that one, we go down to under the eye. So then you just get your 2 fingers and you're basically just tapping from that corner part, just there on the bone again. So that's under the eye, and then we want to go to under the nose, which is just this area here, just on the hard bit between your nose and your lip. Once we've done under the nose, we're doing under the mouth. So you'll feel from your lip down to your chin, there's a slight dip there. That's where we're doing that tapping point. Again, I'm just using all of my fingers, so I'm just confident that I'm hitting the mark somewhere along the line. The point after the chin point would be the collarbone. So your collarbone comes up here, slightly beneath it you've got the top of your ribs. There's just a fleshy part in there, so that's where we want to be tapping. So again, just using my whole hand if it's easier, just tapping that whole area. After we've gone to the collarbone point, we'll go under the arm. So under the arm is generally for females where your bra strap would sit. It's in the middle of your body where the bra strap would sit, and for gentlemen it's probably just below the nipple line and under the arm. So that's your under the arm point. Once again, you're seeing my whole hand being used. Just keeping on tapping there. So now if I showed you what that would look like as a tapping round, we'd identified earlier that I was feeling this anxiety, and we'd identified that the intensity level is about a 6. So to put this all into practice, again we start at the side of the hand and we always have our setup statement. So even though I'm feeling this anxiety and it's about a 6, I'm willing to love and accept myself. I'm feeling all of this anxiety. I'm feeling all of this anxiety. It feels like it's a 6. And that's quite big. I'm feeling all of this anxiety. It's too much. This anxiety, it's sitting at a 6. All of this anxiety, it's sitting at a 6. So once we've gone through one round, you would then take a breath and you would let that go, and you would stop and you'd say to yourself, okay, so how intense is that anxiety for me now? And what we want to do again is put it on that scale of 1 to 10 so we can actually see if it's elevated or if it's reduced down. And that's how we start gauging if this is moving. So for some people it might have spiked up, and so then we start looking at, well, why did it spike up? What were some of the thoughts that were going through my mind while I was tapping? And then we would use those thoughts to introduce into our next tapping round. For some people it may have gone down, but it might still be a 3. So we want to get it lower than a 3. We want to try and get it down to a 1 ultimately, before we move to something else. So if that was the case for you, that's when I would suggest that you actually do the tapping round again. So just for the quick rundown for where the tapping points were and just a little bit of the use of it and what it can be used for, I hope that you've actually got a little bit of information. I know that it is pretty basic, but you just keep it basic at the start, and then as we work together more, or you're introduced to more videos, or you go looking for more information yourself, you'll start to be able to build on the practice. But I want it to be kept basic because I want you to still understand that you can be using this every day. For yourself, for anything. It's so good for addressing the emotions that you're actually feeling. For so long we have been trying to, nope, it's alright, I'm alright, pushing it down, no, I'm not going to feel that, I don't know, that's not the way that we work, I've got other things to do. So we've worked at pushing it down, but all that we've been doing when we've been doing that is adding more and more layers onto what we were when we first were born, which was this beautiful little gem, this beautiful little being who had no problems in the world. And as we have grown and gone through different experiences, all of that hardness is kind of coming on top of us to the point that we don't even recognize probably who we are anymore at the core underneath all of that. So what we're trying to do is just gently take those layers away take away some of the hurt from those experiences. It's never going to change what's happened in our lifetime, but hopefully it does change the way that we think about it, or change the way that we react because of the fact that that's happened for us. So if you are interested in knowing more, of course, linska.co.nz. A lot of you may have already found me through that. So thank you and welcome, and I look forward to doing more work with you soon, and please get in touch if you have any questions. So my email is hi@linska.co.nz, so that's lynska.co.nz. There is also a contact form on the website if you'd like to go through that avenue as well. So welcome to EFT. I hope that you can see that it's an easy technique to use, and you're starting to think of all the ways that it can be used within your life and for the different areas that you'd like to improve on. And let's start building on that, and let's get you moving forward. Alright, thanks guys.